And then the last thing is, I too want to touch on our trip to Japan because.
Oh, please tell us, Jerry, how the tax cows got railroaded.
Miss 5250 here, and I am crazy for justice.
Shouldn't this stuff be cleared by the State Department or something?
And then the last thing is, I too want to.
And please, if you are not from Fresno, even if you are from Fresno, you don't know who this man is until you read these
touch
websites.
On our trip to Japan, because it was a whirlwind, leaving on Sunday and then coming back relatively short period of time and having a 16-hour time difference. But you know what I share with folks who have asked the question, why do we need to go? And it's very simple. You have to see what we saw and experience what we experienced in order to understand how economic development ties into high-speed rail. And we're going to have the first high-speed rail station in the nation in downtown Fresno. It's going to reconnect Chinatown and downtown through this high-speed rail station, through a pedestrian bridge. And the economic activity that occurs within and around these stations is something that you have to witness. And as example, it's almost like transplanting Fashion Fair Mall in and around your downtown area and high-speed rail station. And to see the number of people that are coming through the station and shopping and eating at restaurants and all the other activity that occurs at that station is, you have to see it to understand it. So I want to say thank you, Councilmember Maxwell, Esparza, as well as Chavez for going on that trip with us, and as well as our staff. I think it is something that is going to be very rewarding in the future. And what other folks may not know is the person who is designing our high-speed rail station went with us. So we really got to experience the importance of how intermodal transportation hub ties into the station, and the importance of dividing the buses from the taxis to the passenger cars. So anyway, it was a very rewarding trip for me, and I think it's going to be a very
rewarding trip for Jerry Dyer. Well, I quoted this to them at through Zoom. Abstain from the appearance of evil. Well, Jerry Dyer, he was sued by his own staff members, if I'm not mistaken, for calling one Asian employee his little geisha girl, and for having an Asian ringtone for an Asian council member. Now, he didn't do this in his 20s, in his younger days. He did this as a police chief, as the chief of police for the 5th largest city in the 4th largest economy in the world. This is the man that we sent off to Japan. Chaperones? Who knows? Because we don't get to find out these trips until after they get back. So he must have been getting a lot of flack over this trip, which is why he felt the need to address it, but he didn't really address it. He talked about, but, he didn't address it. He talked about time differences and pedestrian bridges and plopping Fashion Fair into downtown. This trip was not necessary.
Thank you.
And I'd be interested to know exactly when this was all planned, because it seems like it was a last minute thing. And I would like to know, did they fly first class? How many people actually went? Were wives able to go? This kind of thing. Because Jerry Dyer needs to be kept on a much shorter leash. And let's be clear about the men, at least the council members and, the leaders of Fresno. All 4 of these men suck up a $500 a month car allowance from the tax cows. All of them, or none of them, have experienced what it is like to depend on public transportation. I can guarantee you not one of them has taken the bus from their home to their work every day for a week. That has never happened. And lastly, they all voted for Jerry Dyer's party bus to get the college kids down to the Brewery District on the weekend. They spent $288,000 apiece for 3 new trolleys, cute little trolleys, to take the college students down to the Brewery District on the weekends for free. And in my opinion, that was just a ploy to, try to get the young people to vote for him and put him over the top for the primary elections so that he would not have to face the November ballot because he knows he couldn't win the November ballot. The only Democrat that had a shot during the first election is our city attorney. And the only Democrat that has a shot during this last election was Lauren Hubbard, and he dropped out due to death threats, which, Jerry Dyer doesn't give a shit about that. He accepted that man dropping out of the race. He did not, demand that we arrest these people that were threatening a man and therefore trying to influence our election. He was fine. He was fine with that man dropping out. And this second time around, there was plenty of ammo to go after Jerry Dyer and discredit him. He every single appointment that he made, they're gone. They didn't last a year, most of them. The one person I believe that is still there is Sontaya Schwartz Rose, that she started out as his personal spokesperson, and then I think was his chief of staff, and now is the communication director. She was a reporter. So, that doesn't look weird at all. And then let's look at who endorsed Jerry Dyer. They're all the government. The government endorsed Jerry Dyer. Fresno Police Officers Association, we know that there's a bunch of them that didn't endorse him. Mark Salazar, for one. He was endorsed by the government, nobody else. And every single one of these people left under odd circumstances. Very, very strange and hush-hush circumstances that we don't get to know because those are personnel issues and they're protected from the FOIA laws. So we won't get to know that, but it sure has the appearance of evil all over it. So maybe Jerry Dyer can get his pastor of his church or one of his old critics who now works for him, B.L. Lewis. He's a pastor. Maybe one of those people can explain to you, Jerry Dyer, what abstain from the appearance of evil means. To me, it means that if it's going to look funny, and if it looks bad on the surface, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Simple. That's simple. You didn't need to go to Japan, Jerry. Looks bad. None of you needed to go to Japan. And we want to know. We want to see the expenses. Because I guarantee you that it's probably enough money that would sustain someone for at least a year that it's more than a lot of people make in a year. How much you want to bet? And lastly, is this international travel cleared through, Sacramento? Is it cleared through Washington, D.C.? Because this is an opportunity for foreign bodies to compromise our elected officials. And it is also an opportunity for one of these people to create some kind of international incident. So I think this is a flaw or a chink in our armor that needs to be addressed, because I don't think just any elected official should be running off to a foreign country without prior approval. So that's all I have for you right now. I am working on some other videos based on this council meeting. One of them is called the fentanyl filibuster, and that is focusing on our president, our council president, who turns out has been on these secret budget committees since 2019. 2019. Is she? Oh, well, I'm not going to say anything. You have to watch the other video. All right, people, pay attention. They are trying to steal our democracy. People like these people you are looking at right here, they are not for we the people. They are all we the party. Be well and be free. Always film the police and the people in charge of the police. They're at City Hall, people. They are not at police headquarters. Get to those council meetings.